Hey everyone, welcome back to Strength Foundation. Every journey has a beginning, right? A point where you decide to go from thinking about something to actually doing it. Well, today, I'm taking you guys way back to my beginning. We're gonna open up my old journals from early 2013, the first 2 months I ever put on a pair of boxing gloves as a 30-year-old. This isn't just a trip down memory lane. This is the foundation, the origin story of everything that came after. I love this Rumi quote because it really hits on where I was at the end of 2012. I was in this haze, feeling like I'd hit some kind of ceiling. Like there was this fire inside me that was just smoldering. I think we all start from a place like that sometimes. A little unclear, a little lost in the smoke, knowing we need something more. And that's exactly where this all began. So that brings us right into the first part of this story, the call of the ring. This is all about that little switch that flips in your head, the one that takes you from just daydreaming what if to actually showing up and starting on day one. Now, here's the funny thing. By most standards, I was already in fantastic shape. I was doing it all. Swimming, running, lifting, you name it. And I'd come a long way. But it wasn't about being fit anymore. It was this deeper feeling. I needed a real challenge, something that would push me way beyond what I thought my limits were. And this right here, this was the question that really got its hooks in me. It wasn't just, hey, can I learn to box? That's an interesting question, sure. But the one that wouldn't let me go was, could I be great at this? That's a totally different game, isn't it? That's about chasing your absolute potential, not just picking up a new hobby. So the first steps were pretty humble. It was just me in my garage, a heavy bag, and a whole lot of YouTube tutorials. But man, you find out real quick that you can only teach yourself so much. By January, I knew I needed the real thing, a proper gym, a real coach. The second I walked in, that was it. I was home. I bought real gear, real gloves, and just like that, I was all in. The real work was just about to start. Okay, so walking into a legit boxing gym, that was like stepping onto another planet. And that's where my real education began. Not with punching, but with the brutal reality of conditioning. And that is a direct quote from my journal. No exaggeration. Everything I thought I knew about being in shape just got thrown right out the window. It was a level of physical pain and exhaustion I honestly hadn't felt since I was a teenager doing gymnastics. It was like my body had to completely relearn the definition of hard work. Just look at this list. This was the daily grind. You'd run until your legs felt like they were gonna fall off, then you'd drop for push-ups, burpees, a million different ab exercises, and only then, after you were completely gassed, would you finally get to touch the heavy bag. It was all about finding your breaking point and then having your coach push you 5 steps past it, day in, day out. But here's the thing. You can do all the conditioning in the world, and it still doesn't truly prepare you for the real test. And that test comes the moment you step through those ropes with someone who is actively and skillfully trying to hit you. This was one of the first giant, humbling lessons I wrote down. All those hours you spend practicing your footwork, trying to get that jab just right, poof, it all just evaporates when your heart is trying to beat out of your chest and you can't catch your breath. You go from feeling like a technician on the bag to just a guy trying to survive. It's humbling, to say the least. So my first time sparring was a huge wake-up call. But my second time, well, that was a whole other kind of education. I went in thinking, okay, this will be a tough, respectful learning experience, with a partner. What I actually got was what I wrote down as a 2-round beating from a guy who just seemed angry at the world. And that brutal session brings us to a moment that really, truly changed everything for me. We'll call it the price of progress. Because let's be honest, sometimes the lessons that stick with you the most are the ones that leave a mark. He caught me clean, right on the nose 3 times. I still remember the shock of it, that ringing feeling in your teeth. I'm not proud of it, but I even had a little temper tantrum, a total rookie move born out of frustration. For 2 straight rounds, I just took a beating. I got out of the ring, looked in the mirror, and saw my first little shiner. But then something just clicked. I took a deep breath, looked right at him, and I said, let's go one more. That moment, asking for that 3rd round, that was everything. That was me drawing a line in the sand with myself. It was this powerful realization. You will not scare me out of this ring. You can hit me, you can even smash my face, but you won't break my will. And the funny part is, he thought he was breaking me, but what he was actually doing was showing me a strength I never knew I had. The black eye was gone in a week or so, but the lesson I learned that day, man, that's been a guiding light for me ever since, in the ring and in life. It all comes down to this: paying your dues. It's this deep understanding that anything truly worth having has a cost. It demands sacrifice, it demands getting knocked down and being resilient enough to get back up. It is, quite literally, the price of admission for any dream you're chasing. And that constant grind, that willingness to take the hits and pay those dues over and over, it forges something in you. It builds this mindset that has stuck with me to this day, a kind of stubborn hope and an absolutely unbroken will. This Anne Lamott quote just nails at that feeling. There are so many days in the gym, in life, where it just feels dark. You're tired, you're beat up, and you wonder if you're getting anywhere. But you have to have that stubborn hope, that belief that if you just keep showing up, if you keep trying to do the right thing, eventually the dawn will come. You just don't give up. So I'll leave you with this thought. Those first 2 months taught me what I was willing to pay. They taught me the price of my dream. So the question for you is, what about your journey? What dues are you willing to pay to become who you're meant to be? Think about it. Thanks for listening.